Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Empson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 238 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. There comes a moment in your life and career when you will pause and ask yourself a deeper question, which is this: is this the kind of life that I want to live? Is this the kind of leader that I want to be? And is this how power actually works? That moment often arrives when you find yourself stepping into different roles at work, at home, within your family, or inside a team. You will begin to notice patterns. You will see examples of leadership that create trust and safety and high performance. And you will also see examples of leadership built on fear, control, and authority alone. And at first, it's easy to assume that there is only one way forward: to copy and paste what you've seen, to replicate what appears to work. But what most people don't realize is that there is always a choice. You can repeat what you've inherited, or you can consciously create a new way of leading, living, and influencing. And right now, there is a new way of leadership that is quietly coming to the surface. It is not a way that abandons your ambition, your excellence, or your results, but one that asks a more sophisticated question, which is, how do we lead sustainably? We still want meaningful work. We still want impact. We still want to deliver at a high level. But you know now that you're no longer willing to sacrifice your nervous system, your relationships, or even your sense of self in the process. And the Oxford definition of sustainable is to be able to be maintained at a certain level or rate. So here's a question worth sitting with. Can the way you're leading currently be maintained? Not just for a quarter or a year, but for a decade. And this is where power enters the conversation. Power is often defined as the ability to influence, to direct energy, decisions, or outcomes. And whether we acknowledge it or not, we all hold power. We are leaders in our work, in our homes, in our communities. We are influencing others every single day. And the real question isn't whether you have power, it's how you use it. And what I've seen through coaching leaders, training high performers, and studying leadership across psychology, organizational behavior, and spiritual traditions is that power is deeply subjective. High achievers, in particular, often relate to power through effort, through responsibility, through being capable, dependable, and endlessly available. We say yes, we push harder, we carry more, until burnout, resentment, or disconnection quietly sets in. I recognize this in myself. There was a point in my career where my sense of influence and power came almost entirely from how much I could carry, how available I was, and how hard I pushed. And it all worked until it didn't. But influence is not one-dimensional. Power doesn't need to come from force. It doesn't need to be loud, aggressive, or dominating. And in fact, some of the most effective leaders, those who build trust, loyalty, long-term results, operate from a very different kind of authority, a settled one. What if power didn't come from being the loudest voice in the room, but from being the most grounded presence. Research on psychological safety, emotional regulation, and high-performing teams consistently show that people follow leaders who are steady, leaders who listen deeply, leaders whose nervous systems aren't constantly reacting. And quiet authority doesn't mean passivity. It means conviction without the aggression. It means having clarity without needing to control everything, and having strength without forcing. When your power is settled, you don't need to prove it. People will feel it. And this matters because influence built on fear creates short-term compliance, but a long-term erosion. High turnover, broken trust, shallow relationships. Influence that's built on steadiness creates something else entirely. Loyalty, durability, sustained success. And this is the difference between burning energy and directing it. When your power is settled, your impact grows without requiring you to work all hours of the day and night. For those of you who want to take on more but are worried about what that comes with, this is for you. Your leadership can become more magnetic. Your negotiations can improve. Your relationships will deepen. And your success becomes something you can actually live inside of instead of something you have to trade your life for. So I'll leave you with this question. What kind of power do you want to embody? Not the kind you inherited, not the kind you were taught to perform, not the kind that you only saw done around you, but the kind that feels sustainable, aligned with your values, and true to you. Because that decision, how you choose to influence, may be the most important leadership choice you make today. If this way of leading resonates, if you know you're done with force, burnout, overfunctioning, and you're ready to cultivate a more grounded, powerful, and sustainable version of success, this is exactly the work we do inside Spiritual Achiever Coaching. This is for leaders who want to perform at a high level without abandoning themselves, who want impact and presence, and who want power that feels settled and not exhausting. You can learn more or start a conversation at mayempson.com/contact. Because power doesn't have to be loud to be effective. It just has to be embodied. That's it, my friends, for this week. I hope you have an amazing one, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmpson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayempson.com. It'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.